Thank you, Chief Armstrong. And next, we'll bring up our mayor, Mayor Wade Kapsakavich.
Thank you, everyone. I want to thank in particular President Williams for her leadership in the days since Saturday. Toledo's heart is hurting, and the reason Toledo's heart is hurting is because of what we've lost. Miraculously, we haven't had a loss of life. All 12 individuals are expected to survive. 9 have already been released from the hospital, and the other 3 who are still in the hospital have been upgraded. They're no longer in critical condition. I believe they're either in stable or good condition. So we didn't have a loss of life, and that is a blessing, if not a miracle. But we did still lose something over the weekend, and I think among the things we lost was a sense of innocence, or a sense that maybe something like this couldn't happen in Toledo. Before Saturday, there were 173 mass shootings in the United States this year. We were the 174th. There are a number of things that need to happen as a result of Saturday. There are a number of conversations that need to happen. Not the only one, but one of those conversations has to pertain to the fact that we are the only country in the world where mass shootings happen with any sort of regularity. We are the only one. We're not the only free country in the world, but we are the only country where mass shootings happen with the regularity that they do in America. We are the 174th city to suffer a mass shooting. We are the only country in the world where there are more guns than human beings. There are about 334 million people who live in the United States. There are 393 million guns. That is 120 guns per 100 citizens. The next closest country is Yemen, and we have twice as many guns per person as they do in Yemen, and I don't think anyone would confuse Yemen as an especially safe place in this world. The United States contributes 4% of the human population on this globe, but 40% of the guns. We're not going to solve this today, and seeing how the politicians in the Supreme Court in Washington have behaved over the last 10, 20 years, I don't know that we'll ever solve this problem in America, but it is part of what we have to wrestle with as a country. However, that is not the only thing that we need to think about today. There are local actions that we can and need to take, and actually all of us need to take. There is a role for parents, and I do think part of the conversation that has taken place is a need for more accountability from parents. And I believe among the responses you could see coming from City Hall could be attempts to strengthen parental accountability for events that happen in our community. I think there is a role going forward for young people. They have to be accountable for their actions. As much as we may have a heart to try to understand what was going through the minds of the young people who were involved in this incident, the reality is they did something that deserves punishment and accountability, and when our police find them and arrest them, they will be held accountable. I know our county prosecutor was very strong about that on Sunday morning. So there is responsibility that individuals must take. I can't tell you how many faith leaders have reached out to me in the days since Saturday. There is a role of accountability for our faith leaders, to whom many of our young people look for guidance. There's a role for our police officers. We need them. We need them to protect neighborhoods. We need them to respect the neighborhoods they protect. There's a role for everyone as we move forward, including a role for local government. We are 2 hours into the second business day since this event happened, and so we don't have any policies or procedures or ordinances that we've passed, but we've already begun to debate them. And I think going forward, you are going to see some change in how we handle certain events. There has been talk. Folks behind me and the folks in this community have talked about things like strengthened curfews. They've talked about wristbands at entry points to make sure that individuals of the right age are accessing these areas. We already have wristbands to make sure you're 21. Maybe there's a different color wristband that we need in some cases. We've talked about more opportunities for cameras. We've talked about more opportunities for scanning or checking book bags or other bags, as the case may be, as we go in. All of those things are on the table, and they're all things that we'll discuss. However, we have to be aware that many of those policies, had they been in place on Saturday, wouldn't have affected the outcome. This event happened at 5:30 in the afternoon. There's no curfew that would have addressed that. For those who think more backpack checks and access point checks were necessary, the series of events that produced Saturday all began when a police officer checked a book bag. In other words, even when the policies that we imagine may be put in place to address something like this, the exact same things could have happened. That is a reality that we have to face as well. And if there is a final group that I think could be helpful, it is the community at large. I can tell you that there are philanthropic forces in Toledo. There are business leaders who have already reached forward with dollar signs. The Toledo Community Foundation yesterday, and of all the coverage that this event has received, I haven't seen this covered, but they made a very generous donation to the city of Toledo, lined around our core civic priorities this year, putting their dollars into our attempts to implement a better Toledo. I know that the Community Foundation, among others, are wondering whether there are additional tools or technologies that can be used and invested in to make our summertime safer. Toledo is best because it is a family and it does unite. And I think we have already seen that in the days and hours since this took place. Our heart is broken, and it will take time to work through what happened and to seek to make sure it doesn't happen again, even though we should know that in America, since our event on Saturday, we've had the 175th mass shooting in the United States. As we move forward, we will spend the time and the effort and the resources necessary to make Toledo a better place. We also understand that the work of the city goes on. We have a very exciting news conference tomorrow about economic development. We're going to make that announcement because it's important to show that the city evolves and the city moves forward. We have a really exciting event this weekend, the Watershed Weekend, marking the halfway point of the Metro Parks progress along the riverfront. That event is one we've been looking forward for a long time, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen with stronger public safety protocols, thanks to the efforts of the City of Toledo, but also organizations like DTID, who are investing some of their own money to make sure that people can feel safe at these large-scale events. We're about to celebrate our 250th birthday as a country. We want people to feel safe coming downtown and engaging in all of the events, to say nothing of the weekly church and neighborhood festivals that will continue. Those things will continue because they're important and they're a part of being a dynamic city. But if there is one thing I want to end with, I believe that we should dedicate ourselves as a show of unity and as a demonstration to the country what Toledo is really all about. I think we should finish the Old West End Festival. I know that that's not going to happen today or tomorrow or even this weekend. But much like the White House Correspondents Association was interrupted by what probably at that time was the 160th mass shooting in America, They had to cancel that event, but they said, no, we're not going to be deterred. We're not going to allow something like this to define who we are. They're coming back and doing that event again. I think it would send a powerful message to the national media crew who has descended upon Toledo in this moment to do the same thing Old West End. There'll be an Old West End festival next year, but I don't think we should wait 365 days to show that we're not going to stand for an event like the one we went through. I think late summer, maybe early September, we should put a bow on that weekend the way it should and show that we can unite and we're not going to be held back. So I look forward to doing that, and I look forward to doing the difficult work of making the city the best it can be. With that, I'm going to turn it back to our President of City Council, Denise
What
Williams.
about the courts prosecuting these criminals?
Thank you. You can ask question later.